Hey guys, real quick, I know that the audio is a little screwy on this one. When I went to record, I selected the wrong audio source, so I got the audio from the camera mic and not my actual mic. So I'm surprised it's something that doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you. But I hope you guys can struggle through it and have yourselves an awesome weekend.
That's right, friends. We are in Sci-Fi September. You know what that means? Put on your gravity boots, put on your encounter suit. Let's talk about this week. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update as we are rolling into September here. Sci-Fi September, as I like to put it. And I am very, very excited about this, guys. So much so that I've already read almost three of the six books that are five books that I have planned on reading for Sci-Fi September. We're going to talk about that and more like usual. Let's kick things off, guys, with what am I reading? I did finally finish Blood Meridian. And guys, if you, I'm not going to regurgitate everything I said. I just did a wrap up yesterday, and I talked about it there where I said I wasn't going to regurgitate everything I said. So if you aren't a constant viewer, I do apologize, but just know that it's a book I'm probably not going to review because I don't know what to talk about because I'm still not quite sure exactly what it is that I read. I think the man is very talented. He's very, very talented. And I just might have missed what he was going for in this book, and I can admit that. I'm not one of those people, people get all snarky and be like, well, you just didn't understand it. I have no problems being like, you are right. Maybe I just did not understand it. So I wouldn't quite call it a miss for me, but it's something that I was done thinking about 10 minutes after I finished reading the book. And I guess I kind of take that for what you will. But like I said, Sci-Fi September has begun. I did begin a couple days early because after I finished Blood Meridian, I was like, well, I don't want to start, anything that's not going to be for sale. I might as well go ahead and get a jump just in case because, there was a book in September that I was going to eliminate if I didn't have time. So I said, okay, let's go ahead and start a little early. But I finished The Martian Chronicles by Mr. Ray Bradbury, the amazing and wonderful and ahead of his time, Mr. Ray Bradbury. This is one that I had not read since I was a teenager, and I had very, very vague memories. Honestly, I couldn't remember what episodes were. Oh, I'm sorry, what were episodes of Twilight Zone and what were from this book. And I think it might be both now, because I feel that's why I would classify this as like novelized episodes of the Twilight Zone, just a little bit early. And yeah, it's just a great snapshot in time of where we were with just space travel and what our knowledge of anything beyond like the moon in 1947 when he first started writing these stories. And it's just a collection. And I think I'll definitely do a review of this because I feel like I could talk about numerous selections from this book that really will stick with you. And where I said with Blood Meridian, I was like 10 minutes later, I was done thinking about, no, this will stick with you. There were some definite gut punches in it. And I say, man, the authors back then, they were not afraid to let the reader go home feeling a little down, maybe. Let's just put it there. Speaking of that, I read my first Arthur C. Clarke with Childhood's End. Guys, I read this in 2 days. That's how good it was. Lots of ideas presented in this book. I can look back and be like, yeah, just about every sci-fi movie I've ever watched has ripped this off. And I don't know if this came first. I imagine that it did because Arthur C. Clarke is a pillar of sci-fi for a reason. I always thought that 2001 would be the first book I read from him. This is the one that I decided to go with instead. I'm glad I did because this was just superb. The premise of the book alone is worth you guys reading it. Peaceful occupation. They're going to cure, the aliens are going to cure our world hunger. They're going to give us world peace. They're going to cure poverty. They're going to cure disease. All these things sound great on paper, right? Utopian society. Well, you'll see, guys. I definitely recommend you pick this up. Like I said, 2 days, guys. I read this. Some other people on the Discord went ahead and picked it up after they heard me talking about it, and they've blown through it too, and they've really enjoyed it. And we're going to watch the sci-fi series, the adaptation they did a couple of years ago. We're going to watch that now because I just think it's such a neat idea, and I can't wait to see how sci-fi just completely bastardize it. Because that's what sci-fi do, guys. That's what they are really up to. That's everything I read this week. Let's go ahead and talk about what am I going to read. Yes, guys, it is full steam ahead. We are in September. I've got all my coverage for Wisdom of Crowds coming soon. And look, guys, that's how much I got left. Starting to get worried. I started to get where I've already lost some people that I did not want to lose. It is a first law book after all. I'm just going to say, guys, that this is a. If you've really liked this second trilogy, you're going to like where this is going. There were some things I was questioning. I will admit that I was questioning the first third of this book, and now that I see things like, oh, okay, I saw where you were going with that. So there are still some things that I'm hoping can get wrapped up in the last like 80 pages here, because there are still questions I have, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting worried that this is going to be the last first law book ever, and I'm just like, oh God, I got to know everything. I don't know. I don't know, but nervous excitement for sure as I wrap that one up, probably this weekend, because the last 100 pages of an Abercrombie book usually just zip right by. And I've been kind of trying to, stagger myself, not just because I said I wanted to make sure I was fresh when I did that review, which I can't put out until release day. It was more just because this is the last first law book, maybe. And I kind of wanted to savor it. I didn't want to just blow through it in a couple of days, which is easy to do. I mean, I did that with Trouble of Peace. I did that in like 3 days. But I'm glad I've kind of taken my time with this one, and I've kind of let it kind of marinate a little bit. And I'm feeling good, but worried as I headed to the final act. To counter the super serious Martian Chronicles and Childhood's End, I said, how about for more Sci-Fi September? How about a little Douglas Adams, guys? This is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, one of my favorite books of all time. I'm looking forward to telling you guys why you should read it later this month. But again, guys, book that you can read in a couple of days. I mean, look, I started this morning. I'm already halfway done. I was literally just chortling with laughter this morning reading some parts. It's just so much good stuff. This so random. Like, this one guy is a descendant of Genghis Khan, and it makes no sense, but it works somehow. And that's what Adams was just a wizard of. I mean, he could make you laugh about stuff that should not be landing, but the man was a genius. Almost every other paragraph ends in a joke, and they are always funny. And I'm glad to see that I still feel the same way and that I did. I think I reread it, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and had a blast with it. I was going to read it with my kid, and he wouldn't shut up. He wasn't ready to have me reading to him, so I just went ahead and read it again myself. But it's fun. It's so much fun, guys. I hope you'll check it out. And when I finish that, guys, it's going to be recursion time. I'm excited to get back to. Oh, I got 2 things here. I'm excited to get back to some Blake Crouch. I love Dark Matter a lot, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this is, because this one seems like I said, it feels like people either love Dark Matter and hate recursion, or they love recursion and hate Dark Matter. I don't see how anyone could hate Dark Matter, but hey, to each their own. But I'm excited. I think that Blake Crouch, like Andy Weir, is going to become an automatic author for me. I don't know why. I just kind of got that feeling after Dark Matter. I think it's just something about his writing style. Like, I almost feel like they are like the next generation of Crichton. I kind of feel like that. That's a hell of a compliment coming from me. Might be ill-placed. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read enough, but that's just the feeling that I get from their books. The same, dependence on science, but without making you feel like an idiot while you're reading about these scientific things. I don't know. We shall see. That's just how Dark Matter was. This one could be completely different. I don't know. We'll find out, but I'm excited to do that. And guys, now that things are calming down, I'm going to get back on the manga. I know that some of my viewers that popped in just for the manga stuff were disappointed when I told them that they were like, is the next Berserk review coming soon? I'm like, I haven't even read like 10% of that next arc yet, you guys. It was just a busy month. We had multiple read-alongs for the channel. I had a new Stephen King book. I had a review copy to a book that I needed to get read for the review and stuff. So it just kind of took away all of my free time. And just now getting into Sci-Fi September stuff and wrapping up all this stuff. I am going to be going on vacation here pretty soon, so hopefully maybe I can get some stuff done over then. But I will be dipping back into Berserk, finishing the Falcon of the Millennium Arc. Then I'll do Death Note before moving on to Vinland Saga. That is the plans for now, guys. Let's talk about this week on the channel. Look, I want to clear up some confusion first, because I felt like there was something I said last week that people really misunderstood. When I was talking about that I felt like I needed to move on from some content or make less content. So I didn't mean that like I needed to make less content on the channel. What I was trying to say to you guys was, if I have a specific subject that is not tracking well on the channel, maybe it's time to pull back on the coverage a little bit. That's why I stopped doing a lot of things that I've started doing on this channel. Some things just don't work, or some things, the further along you get in a series, you get less and less traffic. Now, I never said I was quitting reading Malazan. I never said I was done making videos for Malazan. I just said instead of 5 videos, I think I'm going to go down to 2 or 3 per book now, just because there are so few people left on this read along, it feels like. So, and I got lots of comments about like, oh, don't let that decide what you're going to make, or don't treat this like a job. Guys, I have control over how I run this channel. I would not be doing this if it felt like a job. Okay, I love to do this. I have a great time doing this. I love connecting with you guys, talking with you, and stuff. It's just my whole meaning in that conversation was I have more ideas than I have time. So why am I going to waste that little bit of time that I got working on content that less than 3% of my audience is watching? That's all I was saying. I want to use that on some of these other content ideas I have, because I'm not like a lot of content creators. I have no problems coming up with content. I have problems coming up with the time to create said content. So that's kind of what I meant there. I hope that makes a little more sense. Just saying that I was going to reduce my number of Malazan videos for the continuation of this read along. It didn't mean that the channel was going to have a reduction in content. So a little oversaturation, I think, in Malazan. Maybe I just worded it incorrectly last week. I'm not sure, but I hope that clears things up. This week on the channel, though, I did get to do my thank you to the 50 wonderful people who got together and sent me an awesome box. I don't know what awesome box is. It's basically they send you, it's like a card, and one side has a picture or something that's like an inside joke or something that brought you guys together. And the other side is just a really nice something that they felt brought them to the channel or what they've appreciated and things like that. And I was fine in that video, but guys, yeah, when I read it the first time, yeah, it was hard to hold back the tears to know that your channel means that much to other people. It's just amazing. I felt like we've made a really, really positive community here, and I love that. I love that, and it just kind of, just solidifies that there's a really positive really positive community, and that they really do appreciate the content, and I love making the content for them. It was really, really nice. So I hope you guys will give that a listen, because those are just some great, great people there. I did my Midnight Tide spoiler-free review. And what do you know, guys? Less than 5% of my audience watched it. Like I was saying, I don't do anything on the channel for views. I don't. You may think that I do, but I don't. I'm going to continue to make these spoiler-free reviews because it is a high tap-out rate on Malazan. And I want people who are like, I really struggled with the last one. Let me watch this non-spoiler review and see if I should continue or not. I'm going to continue to make those, hopefully, to get people to continue on along with me here. But I had a great time talking about it because Midnight Tides was a book I really, really enjoyed. It did get my book of the month, in case you missed the wrap-up yesterday. I really, really did enjoy the book quite a bit, and I'm glad I got to talk about it again before closing it down. I finally did my review for Project Hail Mary. I hope it makes sense now, guys, if you watch that, about why I said, one, I wanted to wait a little while to get more people a chance to read it, and two, because it wasn't a spoiler review, but I was like, there's one plot element about that story that if I spoil it for you, I was going to feel bad. But I couldn't talk about the book without talking about that one thing. So I hope now that people have watched that, maybe they'll understand what I was talking about. Might be my favorite new release of 2021. It's just a spectacular book, and I love talking about it. And it's a book I haven't stopped thinking about since I finished it months ago. I loved it. I loved it. It's a great, great book. I had a fantastic time with it, and I hope more people will check it out here for Sci-Fi September. And then, of course, like I just said, we wrapped up August, and that's always a lot of fun, wrapping up videos, looking at channel growth, looking at most popular content, and all those kinds of things. It is always a real, real good time seeing what really resonated with you guys, what maybe missed the mark a little bit. And again, like always, checking out the health of the channel, see how things are growing. It is still a nice little growth spurt going on with the channel here, and I'm glad to see that this baby is continuing to grow. Thank you to you wonderful, wonderful people. Let's talk about a little bit of next week plans here. Yeah, tea tonight, no coffee. It's just too hot in Houston sometimes, guys, for coffee. I did go ahead and do my discussion with Joe Abercrombie, guys. I did record that this past weekend, and it was a really, I'm not going to lie, guys, that was a bucket list thing for this channel. To interview my favorite modern fantasy author. It was obviously something when I started this channel I could have never imagined that I would have gotten to do. I would have never imagined that he would be the one who would reach out to me and say, I know who you are. But these are the times we live in. It's really, really great stuff. And it was a fun conversation that I had with him. I'll be putting that video out Monday. And the reason I'm doing it there is it's a week before the release of the review of Wisdom of Crowds, which are putting out at midnight on the 14th. And I know that midnight doesn't make any sense. But guys, it's something I do for fun. It's just something I do for fun. I did it all the way back to the Dresden Files one. It's just something that I do for fun. It makes me feel like old people like me will get this reference, like going to a midnight album release party or something like that. That's what we used to do. So it's just something fun that I do. So that'll be a week before. We talked about an hour and a half. I asked some of my own questions, but it was mostly all the questions that you guys submitted. So thank you very much. But wonderful fellow, very nice guy, obviously very educated, very surprising answers, and very, very funny. I think my sides hurt a little bit from laughing so much at some of his responses, because even the most ridiculous questions, which I did ask him some guys, he gave very, very well rounded, intelligent answers, even through trying to hold back the grins. And some he just really just let loose with it. I think you guys will have a great time with it. It is spoiler free, guys, so you don't got to worry if you haven't read First Law. I think you might get more interested in the series just hearing us talk about it a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But it was a great time, and like I said, bucket list item for me. Then I'll be doing my review for Sphere. Yes, I did move this one from August into September because it does fit the sci-fi theme. This is the most recent, well, not the most recent, because we read Jurassic Park after that, but the Michael Crichton read-along, did Sphere, and then we did Jurassic Park. I'll be doing both those this month, but I'll be doing Sphere sometime next week. I'll be doing my book haul a little early this month because, like I said, I'm going to be going on vacation, and I just, you never know how things are going to go on vacation. I'm not doing anything, guys. It's a staycation, not really, just taking some time off to recharge the batteries. But you start doing things like that, and you would think, oh, well, you got lots of time to do this. No, I think I'm going to lay in bed and read, catch up on things, play some video games, hang out with my kids, do some actual relaxing stuff. So the content will be coming, but I don't think that I'll be spending a lot of time making sure that I make a lot of content here. So I want to go ahead and get the book haul done early this month. It's going to be a much significantly smaller one than last month. And then I will be doing for another Sci-Fi September special. This is my top 10 Star Wars expanded universe novels, and this is just obviously my opinion. I'm going to preface it by saying these are the ones that I've read. I've read about almost 70 Star Wars EU novels, and guys, I'm talking about Legends, the original EU, not whatever that mess is that Disney's doing. So not to get it confused there, but my top 10 there, and I know that I'll get some people be like, well, you haven't read the X-Wing novels, so how can you not put those on there? Well, I haven't read them, so I haven't read everything, but I will begin that video by showing everything that I have read and kind of picking my 10 favorite from that. And guys, I love talking about the Star Wars EU, so I can't wait. But that's all I got, guys, for books. I do got a couple of TV and movie things. Do you know that Denny V, that's the gentleman making Dune, he wants to make a Dune movie trilogy? And of course it sounds like, okay, that sounds awesome, please let him do it. Well, Warner Brothers probably. Look, this all depends on the success of Dune at the box office, and I feel like they've already kind of cut off his feet here by having it be releasing the same day. I feel like it's going to have the same struggles as Suicide Squad did now. People are just going to be like, why? I can just stay home and watch it. I don't know. Candyman did really good. Fast 9 still making money. I've never known how Dune was going to do in the theaters, but feeling like now that it has both the digital same day release as theater, I feel like it's really, really going to hurt it. So I hope they'll take those into consideration. He says he wants to do, obviously, Dune 2 would be the second half of the first book, and then Dune 3 would be just Dune Messiah. And I started thinking, I was like, man, that's weird, because I always try to sell people on Dune Messiah and Children of Dune as one book. But if there is kind of a hero's journey in Dune, I guess you could say it ends with Dune Messiah. So I could see how he's doing. Look, I would love for him to do it. I would, but it necessitates not only this being done well, but I just feel like Warner Brothers is going to do their Warner Brothers thing, and they're going to fuck up this relationship so bad with Denny V. He's not going to want to come back and do it again because of, he's still pissed off about them putting this on streaming on day one, and I can't blame him. From what I saw in the IMAX preview, guys, you'll want to see this in the theater, and I'm begging you to go see this in the theater, because I would love to see this man make 3 Dune movies. That is a wet dream, if I have one, for media. So please go see this movie at the theater. We did watch The Green Knight finally. I told you we had kind of started the other night, and my wife fell asleep. And like I said with that, it wasn't because the movie was dull. It was because she laid down at like 9:30 to start a movie. Of course she was going to fall asleep. I will say I like the movie. The isn't thing I love. It's nothing that I'll ever watch again. But I liked it fine. I feel like a lot of the criticism are way, way, way overblown. And guys, I've been like that. I've been that with the A24, where it feels like it's been hit or miss for me. This is very much the same. I would put it under hit, but again, it's nothing I'd ever watch again. Amazing cinematography. I mean, just the look of the movie is just spectacular. Some of the cinematography is just breathtaking. I love some of the use of colors, especially the color yellow, which you think in the big emphasis on green here. The color yellow in that movie just pops so well. But I had a good time. Wonderfully acted. I was kind of confused on the whole Joel Edgerton like side quest part, but hey, I'm always going to be confused in an A24 movie. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, wonderfully acted. I didn't feel like it was really disrespectful to the Arthurian legend or anything like that. To get what they got out of a poem like that, to get a movie that was 2.5 hours, I don't think it needed to be that long. But I say that about everything. That's like the old man lately, because I'm always like, can we just make a movie that's an hour and a half anymore? Is this impossible? But again, I liked it. I know a lot of people felt betrayed because of the trailer. Well, here, I'm going to give you guys a little insider baseball and marketing. The job of a marketing team is to sell the movie to get the most eyes on the product. They're going to put together a trailer that's going to look like it appeals to everyone, not just like a niche thing. So, yeah, I get it. I mean, a lot of times trailers are not what they saw. Remember that trailer for Last Jedi? It was a totally different movie than what we got, right? It's because the marketing team did a good job. And that's just the thing that marketing does, guys. The job of a marketer is to get butts in seats. So that means making a trailer that looks like it's going to be the most exciting movie for people. So people that went in this expecting Lord of the Rings didn't get it. The movie is 98% dialogue. There is almost no action in this movie whatsoever. So I can get why some people didn't care for it. So if you like the use of themes and allegory and all those good things, you're going to have a good time with it. I felt like it kind of captured the story pretty well. So it almost felt like a grim fairy tales version of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I'm still saying Gawain. They said Gawain the whole buzz. I know Gawain is in Wheel of Time. Gawain is at the Round Table. Okay, so I am sticking with that. But I recommend it. But just again, have your expectations checked. Know what you're going to see here. It is a very slow movie. And it's you're not going to see a lot of sword fighting. It's just not this. That's just not the story that it is. This deal that the guys from South Park got, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, geniuses in my opinion. If you ever watch that special they did called 6 Days to Air, absolute wizards these two are. And the fact that now with this new deal that Paramount has given them, $900 million deal that they just gave these gentlemen. It's going to consist of 14 movies over the next 6 years that will be on Paramount Plus, so they're all in on their streaming service there. And it has set the series to go into season 30. Now, look, I have not been shy with this. It seems like the big argument has always been South Park, Family Guy, and The Simpsons. Which one is the best? I have consistently said South Park has always been my favorite because they know how to handle what is going on in the world so well. And they are able to put it right in your face, and I never feel like it might be extreme, but it never feels like a lie to me. It always feels like a over-the-top version of it, sure, but here's the thing, and this might be controversial to some people. In a time that we're living in where it seems like everyone is afraid of being canceled or saying something wrong and basically getting evicted off the planet, the guys at South Park, they don't care. They do not care. They will say whatever they want. They will get away with it, because they still get crazy ratings for this TV show. And just showing how much this deal they just got is amazing. And I feel like this is a very important show. It really, and it may sound silly to some people who are just like, it's a bunch of idiot kids cutting up in Colorado. It is a very important show, I think, because it really does feel like that last bastion of creativity on TV where you can do and say whatever you want, and you still get to make your show the next week. So I love this as someone who just wants to see creators create without the fear of getting in trouble. These guys have no fear whatsoever. So I'm extremely happy for them. I still watch South Park. I can't wait. I'm glad it's going to keep going. I mean, we're talking, guys, when this came out, I was in high school. It's amazing. The first year this came out when I was in high school. So it's really, really awesome. I'm really excited for those guys, and hey, they deserve it. And I love that they're just going to keep giving us the stuff that I don't want to say that people need to hear or whatever, but they're not afraid. If you don't like it, they're like, okay, cool, watch next week, see you next week, you know. And I love that about them. They're never gonna hide from that. So congratulations on them for staying true to themselves. Now you guys probably want to hear me talk about that Wheel of Time teaser, right? Later. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be talking with Madison. She's on my Discord. She is my moderator. She has her own channel, Madison Goodyear. I guess this is kind of a pre-announcement for that. We had planned on doing this show called As the Wheel Turns. And what we're going to do is it's going to be a Wheel of Time, Amazon's original series Wheel of Time, an after show. We're going to watch the episode, then we're going to get together and talk about it, compare it to the books, talk about what changed, what didn't, what worked for us, what didn't, things like that. And this is going to kind of be our introduction to that as we are going to talk about this teaser trailer. Now, you're like, well, how much could you talk about? Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There's channels out there that are just Wheel Time content that talk for 30 minutes about a picture of Moraine, you know? So, I mean, it can happen. So, we will talk about this trailer there. So, you have to wait. That will be out sometime this weekend. We'll put that together, and I will get that out then. So, I wanted to save that for that video. Didn't want to steal the shine from that, and we'll talk about it there. But you guys want to talk about the Wheel of Time teaser in the comments, you're welcome to do that. I would love to read your thoughts on it before that video. But guys, that was my week. What was your week like? What are you reading? What are you watching? What do you listen to? What are you playing? Drop in the comments and let me know, and have yourselves an awesome weekend.